Here is the first lesson on resolution. This is the flute part. Okay, we're going to look at the first 25 measures. Okay, very first thing you notice at the top should be key signature. If you haven't already looked at that, please make sure you do so. In our key signature, we have two flats, B and E. Okay, it's the first scale in your standard of excellence on page 42. Okay, if you don't already know the scale, then you should go over that right now because that will help you out through the song. So let's review. What's the key signature mean? Okay, the key signature tells you what notes are different. Okay, we have our B flats and E flats. That means every B and every E that you come across will be flat. Okay, in the first two measures, we have an E flat in each measure. All right. So let's talk about how to play these two measures. There's lots of stuff on the beginning of that page that you need to be aware of. There's one thing that I forgot to add. Okay? So we have at the top of the page, it says Allegro, quarter note equals 144. That's your tempo. So what does that mean? That means if you grab a metronome and you set it to where the tempo says 144. See if I can zoom in on that. Okay? That is your tempo. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to take it about that speed for our performance. Okay? So the first two measures, the first really 7 measures have something above the note. What is that? Those are called accents. When you play an accent, you play the note a little bit louder and a little bit shorter. So for instance, if we had 4 regular quarter notes, okay, there's your quarter notes. Excuse me. Now, let's say I accent the third one. Here it was a little bit louder, it was a little bit shorter. That's how we do the accent. Right? So in the first two measures, since they're all accented, they're all going to be slightly louder and separated. Hear that in a little bit more space than what we normally do during class? That's what we normally do during class. That's standard articulation. So when you play these, it's forte and it's accent, so it's going to be a little bit louder in forte. And there's going to be some space. Now, if we did it at our performance tempo, alright, and that's what that would sound like. Now, when we count this, because we're always counting in our head, this is easy for you. You know it's 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3. Right? You keep counting even though they're half notes. Right? And that's the first 8 measures. Let's try that together, not at performance tempo. We never want to start with performance tempo. We want to start slower, so make sure we get the right notes. Alright? There are no new notes in here because it's in our concert B flat scale. So let's play it slowly. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. Make sure that whole note is 4 full counts. Alright? Let me fix my tuning a little bit. Alright, now let's look at measure 9. Measure 9, we have a half note tied to a quarter note. So how long do we play that? If you're thinking 3 beats, you're right. Half note is 2 beats, quarter note is 1 beat. So you play it for 3 full beats. 1, 4, 1, 4. Alright? Same thing. Accent, so it's going to be a little bit louder. Now, when we space for an accent, that means there's just going to be a space at the end. You're not going to space in the middle of a tie. That doesn't really make sense. So that space is going to come at the end of the quarter note. So Let me get my tempo. So if we were to play this without that accent, we would have this. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now with that accent, right here there's a little bit of space. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. So let's try those two measures together. About this speed. So 3 full counts. 1, 2, measure 9. Alright, I hope that makes sense to you. That's how that goes. Now, if you look at the rest of the song down to 25, that's it. Measure 9 is the same thing. We have the half note G tied to the quarter note G. And that for measure 9 and 10, that repeats for 13 and 14. Okay? I'm going to play for you at tempo so you can hear it. 9 to 17. Ready? And you can follow along first. I'm going to count off in case you want to repeat or rewind and play it with me. 1, 2, ready. Now, let's talk about that decrescendo. Okay, now your decrescendo is not written under these notes, but the decrescendo you have is at measure 18, and it looks like that. Okay? The big thing with a crescendo or decrescendo, it doesn't matter with either of them, is to not do it too soon. We have that C whole note that we hold for 8 counts. So you want to go at full volume, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, off. Okay? Your goal should probably be to decrescendo the last 2 beats. If you can decrescendo the last 4 beats, that's even better. Okay? Now, I want you to practice that, but listen to your pitch. As you get quieter, you have less and less air, a smaller and smaller opening. You want to be sure you're tilting up and keeping that air fast. Otherwise, this happens. Hear how that pitch just went down like almost a whole note? Yeah, that's what happens. So you got to make sure that you're pointing that air up and you're keeping that air fast. And that's what we're looking for. Okay. Now, if you have a tuner, you realize that was sharp because I still haven't gotten this tune yet. I haven't warmed up well. All right. So that gets us all the way down through measure 18. Now, the next 6 measures. I don't know, it only looks like 1 measure, doesn't it? Okay. When you have that big, thick, black line going through the 3rd line of the staff on measure 19, and there's a number over it, that's how many measures you're going to rest. So it says 6 measures. So we're going to do this. When we have that 6 measure rest, we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3. Okay, sorry, that was wrong. Okay, so you're going to count 6 full measures, and it's 4, 4, so we get 4 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, play. And that's how that goes. Okay, that was the first lesson for resolution. Thanks for joining me.